moving around the Premier League in general, Man City, who are going to be looking, if they retain the services of their coach, which it looks like they're going to, are going to be looking to go hard and try to win something in what might be Guardiola's last or second to last season. And they are being linked, believe it or not, with some fullbacks, because of course. And we know, obviously, they're losing the likes of De Bruyne. We mentioned Reinders as a potential recruit for him. What are the stories circling around City and recruitment and exits as well?
They are going to be super busy, aren't they? There's quite a few reporting. Livramento at Newcastle, that is their top right back target. I mean, Newcastle are going to demand a king's ransom for him, aren't they? It'll be an absolutely huge, ginormous fee. So that's one to keep an eye on. But they've also been clear, Pep's been honest about it, that he's not going to take Kyle Walker to the Club World Cup, is he? So, that move gets sorted. They're still looking for a right back. Kevin De Bruyne was brilliant, wasn't he? The fact that Willie Won't, what's he going to do? And then that crazy Napoli owner goes, we're not going to talk about Kevin De Bruyne too much. However, we've made Kevin De Bruyne an offer. We're going to try and sign him, and hopefully we can convince him to come over here. So just gave the whole, he's a bit mental, isn't he? The whole game sort of plan away. But people are expecting that one to happen. I mean, people talk about, remember when they were saying, City aren't going to move for Wirtz because they're not prepared to spend that sort of money on a player. Forgetting that, Jack Grealish, 100 million quid, didn't even make the last day squad, did he? And Pep was agitated, shall we say, asking or answering questions about that. Yeah, Grealish is looking for another club. And little update on that, it's not related to us, but Grealish is prepared to take a massive wage dip and everything if Villa would take him back there. Hometown boy, isn't he? Birmingham lad. So that's an interesting one to keep an eye on. Reinders, as you mentioned, we're just waiting for that bid probably to come in whenever it does. And then for all the reshuffling of the people leaving, there's that right-hand man, the older guy with the grey hair, that whenever Pep sits down, he always whacks him and slaps him around and shouts at him in the face. He's had enough, so he's off apparently as well. So, yeah, they're looking for a new right-hand man for Pep to slap around. So there's going to be a lot going on at City this summer.
Maybe Eddie Howe could get rid of his hanger on there and send him over for a few slaps. He'd love all that once he was front and center. Next story we have is United, who are just all sorts of entertainment for us at the moment. Oh my God, the open bus tour. And they go across and they play their match against the Asian All-Stars. And as far as I can see, I think they lost. Certainly they were scored against. Just endless amounts of comedy around this lot at the moment. Even down to, it looks very bad for an awful lot of the players there in terms of wanting or looking at the exit door. Amorim seems to be the kind of spiky personality that has alienated a couple of them, that he has decided he doesn't want around anymore. And front and center in that bunch seems to be Garnacho. You've mentioned Onana here too. And the only in that I've seen that had any sort of sense to it and looks very likely is Cunha.
Yeah, it's the club that just keeps on giving, don't they? I mean, the quote's coming out that Amorim said to Garnacho in that training session before the final game where he didn't play, you better pray that you can find a club to sign you. That Onana didn't make the squads. They're looking to ship him out at the same time because obviously Jim's money didn't fix it, did it really? They still got the big hole and they didn't get Champions League. So that comes in the mix. There was a great one today, a few videos that were brilliant, that when they were in Asia, they were doing all the, there's like one of those sign-ins where fans can come up on the stage and get pictures and they sign the shirts with the players. And I don't know who thought this was a great idea, Trev, but there's about 6 United players in the row and many are doing the sign the shirt, smile for the photos. Garnacho was just sat there, refused to do a single photo. It was brilliant. Was just literally like high five people and wouldn't sign anything. Like, who thought that was a good idea to put him up for that? Like, what a joke that was. Kuna as well. That was funny. Kuna's got that £62.5 million release clause, which, according to his contract, has to be paid in 2 installments. And Manchester United said to us, why don't we pay it in 5 installments? And they said, no, how about 2 installments? And it's now going to get paid in 2 installments, because that's how good Manchester United are at negotiating these types of things as well. But I have to be honest, he's obviously got a stinking attitude, Kuna, but he is a good player. You can't deny that at all. And they're also looking at Mbeumo at the same time as well, although I think he might be headed elsewhere. So as much as we're mocking, and I still think there's a lot wrong at that club, and it's funny, I kind of don't want them to get Kuna and Mbeumo, because that would strengthen them, wouldn't it, in all honesty?
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. I lean into the comedy and enjoy it like the next man, but we don't want to see that squad getting stronger. And there's no way Ruben Amorim has suddenly become an awful coach, so something will improve there, you would imagine, next season. Just one person that we haven't referred to there that I saw linked with both the Manc clubs, and that's Cherki. Anything on him that's in any way believable?
His agent is doing the hard yards right now. There's no doubts about it. I mean, we've been linked with him, City. I think every practically Premier League club in that side has been linked with him. It's expected to happen this summer, isn't it? Because Leon need the cash. He's only got a year left or so on his deal. And it is possible, but City are looking at Reinders. We've talked about other midfielders. So if they did get Cherki, or if United, I mean, Cherki doesn't track back. Maybe United might be the perfect place for him.
There you go. Dream home. What about Chelsea, who are obviously going to be doing things because they always do? The latest big story there was João Pedro, who, again, I know we were linked with an awful lot of people, including Dave Hendrick of this past parish, was very high on as a potential Liverpool recruit. Then all of a sudden there were stories going around of him being a terrible set of lads. And obviously, as we said earlier on, Chelsea are the most strongly linked with Hugo Ekitike as well. Yeah. And what are they going to do about some of the players that they have there that they kind of need to offload? What are the Chelsea stories doing the rounds?
Definitely looking for a striker, aren't they? Yeah, João Pedro definitely being looked at as a potential, but it is important to say, you mentioned the name. All the info that we've got is Chelsea are the strongest ones in for Hugo Ekitike right now. And you never know for definite, but if you ask me to bet right now, I'd probably steer Ekitike towards Chelsea, would be my guess. But you never know for certain. The funniest one with Chelsea is this story that keeps going round about, oh, will Chelsea buy that Strasbourg player, that youngster who's done really well? Like, why are people falling for that? Sweeney Todd owns both clubs, for God's sake. Like, he'll just decide if he ships him, if he's ready. It'll be up to them if they make that move. So that's quite funny. And then maybe the funniest thing is they have to decide, are they going to commit the £20 million for Jadon Sancho, or are they going to give Manchester United £5 million so they don't have to sign him? So there's plenty going on at Chelsea, but just them, United, it's all quite funny at the moment, let's be honest.
It's magic. It genuinely is. And like, keep your eyes on Chelsea because they are always a source of entertainment. We'll go to Arsenal and then we'll finish off with Newcastle. But Arsenal first, because it's player stories that we're hearing. A couple of them will probably make their way away from Arsenal in that squad. But they are being linked. And we know that the ownership are going to back Lego Head one last time at least, if not again and again. And like I said, Gyökeres is the big link that I keep seeing there, but also young, Rory's son, Liam Delap as well. Yeah. And they seem to have gazumped Liverpool, who are initially to the fore in the Rodrigo stories. What's going on there at Arsenal in terms of ins and potential outs?
Yeah, Arsenal are genuinely looking like multiple attackers. I mean, it's on the screen as we talked about Gyökeres before. That won't be any surprise. further links with Sesko, as you said, Liam Delap, also a player that we've been linked with, Rodrigo. Absolutely, they've had a good look at him. And one that's even come up today, Arsenal have got a great relationship with Pini Zahavi, the super agent, who also is the agent for Leroy Sané, who's not getting any resolution, is he, in that contract dispute, if you want to call it that, negotiation, if you want to call it that, with Bayern. So that is one that a lot are saying just keep an eye on, because Arsenal want an attacker, and they've also been looking for a left-sided player, haven't they, as well? There's been Nico Williams mentioned before at the same time. So Sané on a free might make a lot of sense to them, might they, if they've got to spread their funds a little bit smarter that way. So it's hard to say for definite. I think you'd bet on Gyökeres probably going there, but Arsenal are definitively looking for two attackers, one that can play left as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who they've got. And even on the outgoings, Jorginho's now confirmed it, hasn't he? He's going to Flamengo, and it's fully expected that Zinchenko departs at the same time as well. So yeah, it's busy with Lego Head as well.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of the luckiest men. I don't know if you saw it wasn't a hatchet job, but it was just a very honest appraisal that Henry gave there in the last couple of days.
Yeah,
just does not look great for him. It's all on a trophy next season, and a big one at that. Let's finish with Newcastle then in terms of Premier League news. And this is more around the sort of managerial structure, because Eddie Howe's seen off another one and he's still in situ. It's wild. Honest to God, hats off to the kid. I never saw that coming. I just did not see it coming. I thought he was going to be such an obvious managerial casualty early doors, and he just keeps hanging on in there.
He's got staying power, Eddie Howe, hasn't he? There's no two ways about it. I think after Amanda Staveley left, a lot of people thought that'll be it, curtains for him, but he's done it, and they've got the Champions League. Paul Mitchell had been brought in with his experience, the sporting director. However, he's won that war, hasn't he? Paul Mitchell is leaving. I mean, rumour has it that Eddie Howe cut his head off and Mad Dog Tyndall ate his heart there and there on the spot, because they've been at war, haven't they, for ages, those two? And it looks like that's one. And funnily enough, as we know Paul Mitchell's departing, look on the screen who's back in the mix. The player that Eddie Howe tried to get all last summer and they fumbled it and Mitchell clearly didn't want. Mark Guéhi and Brian Mbeumo, which are, funnily enough, two players that Eddie Howe had been chasing for a while as well. So, yeah, he's won the power struggle. Paul Mitchell's gone. Eddie Howe is essentially in charge of transfers there. So, yeah, how much will they pay for Mark Guéhi and Brian Mbeumo? It'll be interesting for Mbeumo because there's quite a few clubs in the mix for him, isn't there? United, Newcastle. He's got a Champions League option here as well. So, yeah, I wouldn't bet against those two ending up at St James's Park.
Looking at the guy on screen, I'm reminded of someone who has been very much in the conversation for a potential Liverpool recruit, but also a lot of other clubs are looking at him, City as well. And it's all gone very quiet around Adam Wharton. What's the current state of affairs there? Am I right? Because I didn't see anything in the last few weeks, and we had been obviously heavily linked, and I think City were too.
I think Adam, I don't know how you put this, Adam Wharton stuff will start to unfold as the summer goes a little bit and clubs make their moves, because we know, we said on the pods, and it's come out there, hasn't it? Liverpool are big fans of Adam Wharton, but, and people won't like me saying this, but just to be clear, we've said a million times on this pod, us two love Adam Wharton. We'd love us to sign Adam Wharton. It'd be an absolutely brilliant thing. But it's quite clear Liverpool are looking at fullbacks, attackers right now, aren't they? That's the priority in that regard. So it's not going to be one that happens right away because of the things they're looking at. But as the summer starts to unfold, I will bet serious money we are talking about Adam Wharton.